Hey friends, welcome to our Utsuk YouTube channel. This is our part 13 video tutorial on Java programming. In this video tutorial, we're gonna discuss about the methods in Java. So let's move to the content. At first, we're gonna discuss about the methods in Java. After that, the types of Java methods. And we're gonna discuss about the creating the methods in Java and the calling the methods. And after that, some of the variations that can be done in methods. So method basically means that it is a block of statement or block of code that performs a specific task, such as methods are bound to a class and they define the behavior of the class. As we have learned in mathematics that if we have some functions like this, fx equals to x square, then in the value of x, it gonna returns the value 1, and in the value of x equals to 2, it will returns the value as 4. So same like this concept in programming also, we have a method that can perform a specific task. So using the function or method, we can use the same specific task for repeatedly. So types of Java methods, it can be categorized into two types as standard library methods and user-defined methods. So standard library methods refers to the methods that are already predefined in Java, such as we have previously used methods like println, print or printf. These methods are predefined in Java, so it is considered as the standard library methods. Whenever that methods are called, some block of statement or lines of code are executed. So same like that. Another one is user defined methods. In this user defined method, we're gonna create our own methods. We can create a method like this. It's a basic syntax for creating the method. Here is a modifier and static keyword, return type, name of the method, and the parameter or argument that method takes. And this one is the method body. For example, we can create a method using as shown in example. This is the access modifier and this static is a keyword. This is the return type and sum here is the method name, and this num1 and num2 is the parameter that the method takes. And inside the method, it's a method body. Here lines of statement are implemented, and whenever the sum method is called, then it can execute the body of this method. So let's dig up more into the syntax of the method creation. So this one is the syntax for the creating the method, and this one is the modifiers. It means that it is the access modifier and it can be of any like public, private or protected. We're gonna discuss about the access modifier in detail in later on video when we discuss about the class and object. So for now, it will be easier if you understand that the modifier simply means that how the method gonna be visible to other classes, like it can be a public, private or protected. So another one is the static, and it is the keyword that if we place the static in a method, then it can be accessed without creating objects. This one is the return type. So return type refers to the what type of value the method returns, like it can be a float, integer, character, string, any of them. And this one is the method name, and it is the identifier that is used to refer to the particular method in a program. This simply represents the method name, and this one is the parameter here. It's also considered as the argument, and it's a value passed to a method. So parameters can be multiple, like 1, 2 or many. And inside the parameter, we can pass integer value, character, string or float or any kind of values. So calling the method. After the declaration of the method, in order to execute the body of the method, we have to call the method as this one. We have declared the method here. It's a name of sum and the return type is int, and it takes 2 parameters. So if we want to implement this method, then we need to call the method by its name. As inside the main class, we can call this method using the method name, simply sum. So whenever we call this method, it's gonna point to this method body and it's gonna execute the block of statement inside it, and after executing the block of body inside the method, it's gonna simply return to the remaining code of the main method. So this is the concept behind the method. So there are some of the variations in method, like we can create a variation in method in 4 ways. First, method with no argument and no return type. It's a simple one, as it does not have any argument and no any return type. Another one is a method with return type but no argument, as it's gonna return some value but it does not take any of the argument or the parameters. Another one is method with argument but no return type, as this method gonna take the parameter or the argument but it does not return any of the value. And last one is method with both argument and return type. So the final one gonna be, it gonna take some arguments and it also gonna return some values. So these types of variation can be formed in methods. In order to understand this variation in a detail, let's move to the practical section of our methods in Java. Let's open our NetBeans IDE. Let's create one project. Next, practice underscore 12. Finished. So let's remove out this. So let's rename our class methods. So let's begin our practical section of methods. So I'm gonna start with the simple methods that has no argument and no return type, as I'm gonna create one method outside of the main class as method with no argument and no return type. So let's give public as an access modifier, static void. If there is no any return type, then it's gonna be void and function name as sum. So we're gonna perform some tasks that calculates the sum, as int a equals to 5, b equals 5, and int sum equals to a plus b, and we're gonna print the value of sum here. Sum equals to sum. So in order to execute these blocks of a statement inside the method, we're gonna call the method by its name as sum. So if we run this program, this line gonna call the method sum here, and whenever the sum is called from the main method, the block of the body inside the method is executed and it's gonna print the value of this sum. So let's run this program. As you can see that it's giving me sum equals to 10. So this one is the first method. So let's move to the second type, method with return type but no arguments. As in this first type, we don't have any of the return type, as the return type is void here, and it's not taking any of the parameter also. But in the second type, we're gonna add this return type here as an int. Let's create some different method than sum. So in next method, we're gonna look about the subtraction. So I'm gonna create one method that gives the value of the subtraction, like public static. It's gonna return the value int, and the method name is sub, as this method is not going to take any of the arguments here. So let's leave this as blank. Let's define one variable as a equals to 10, b equals to 5. Now int diff equals to a minus b. So if we return this value, return diff. Now if we call this method sub here, then it is returning some integer type value. So we can simply store the value that returns by this method in one variable as int subtract equals to this sub, and we're gonna simply print here sub equals to subtract. So let's run this program as it's giving sub equals to 5. So here the concept behind the second type of method is that whenever the method is called from here, then it gonna execute the method body. So it's gonna calculate the difference between the A and B, and it's gonna store here, and it simply return the value that are stored in diff variable. So whenever it returns the value, it gonna store the returned value in this variable as an integer, and it simply print out here. So this can be also modified here as sub directly. This also works fine. As you can see that it's giving me the same result of sub. The sum is from the first method and sub value is giving from second method. So let's see for the third type. Method with argument but no return type. As in second, we have the return type as an int, but now it's gonna take the argument but not the return type. Public static void, so we don't have any of the return type here. So I'm gonna create for the multiplication, so my function name can be mul, and now here it's gonna take two arguments as an integer value. So int a comma int b. We can manipulate the argument that are passed from the main method, and we can simply calculate here multiplication as we can directly print here mul equals to a into b. So in order to call this method, we can simply create here as mul, and we're gonna pass the integer value as it takes two value as an integer. So whenever this mul method is called, then it's gonna take the parameter as first parameter as 5 here and second parameter as 6, and it simply print out the value by multiplying the a and b. So let's run this program. It's gonna give 30 as the value. As we have passed 5 and 6, it's gonna go here as a parameter, and it's gonna give me multiplication value as 5 into 6 equals to 30. So let's see for the final one variation, that is method with both argument and return type. In the third one, it has no return type but it takes argument. But now we're gonna discuss about the method that takes argument as well as it has the return type. So public static int, okay, I'm gonna give here double, and I'm gonna make the method that divides the value as I'm gonna give div as name. So it's gonna take double value a and double b. So it's gonna take two arguments and it's gonna simply divide equals to a by b. So here I have to add double value because it's giving the double as it's getting the double as an argument, and it's gonna return divide. Or you can directly return this value also, like I'm gonna comment out this, and here I'm gonna give a by b directly. You don't need to store this value into a variable and then return, but you can also directly return the value. So let's call this method. Either you can call this method by storing into the variable like this, as I have previously shown this one in subtract, or you can directly call like this. So I'll be doing this directly in order to print in this print line as division equals to div, and I'm gonna give the parameter as 10,5. So whenever we run this program, this gonna call the div method here, and the parameter that we are passing is 10 and 5, as the first parameter is here 10 and second parameter here is for b, it's a 5. And whenever this method is called, it's gonna execute the body inside the method, and it divides the a by b, and it simply returns the value. So the return value are here directly printed. So let's run this program. As we can see that division equals to 2.0, as it's returning the double value, so we are getting the value as in double. So we can also pass here as double value like 10.5 and 5.5 5. So let's run this. It's giving the double value. So we can pass any type of the parameter like string, int, float, char, or any of the primitive or non-primitive type. Like we can even pass the arrays. So this is the basic concept behind the methods in Java. So here are some of the variations I have shown here. So it's gonna be very useful when you are in a core programming level. And I hope that you have understood the method in Java. And the main purpose of this tutorial is to make you understand that why to use the methods in programming language. Like if you want to multiply this number for another number also, then you don't have to implement this same code for again and again, but you can simply pass the other values like 6,6, and when you run this program, it's gonna give me 36 again. Here is the one method that multiplies the value of 5 and 6, and here is another for 6 and 6 value. So using the methods in a programming, the program is managed in a readable form as well, and the code repetition is also reduced, as we can use same function for the different values. So I hope that you have understand the concept behind the methods and why to use methods in programming. So in our next lecture video, we're gonna cover about the string data type, as string in Java plays a vital role, and it's the important concept that you need to understand while programming. So we will meet you in our next lecture video. Till then, goodbye.